DJ Erica.
Welcome to another episode of the DJ Erica podcast. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Y'all, I am celebrating right now. I'm feeling real good. This is episode 50 of my podcast, you guys. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. On this podcast, I talk about celebrity news, commentary, urban news for the most part, you guys. Your favorite celebrities, and we also talk about serious things going on within the community, current events, and of course, my favorite part of the show, we like to do the music reviews of most recent albums that just been released, new songs, music videos, and of course, I always do my throwback jam of the week or my throwback album of the week, okay? So this is a really dope podcast. We have a good ass time, so make sure you guys keep it locked here. It's going to be a nice long ride, y'all. I don't know where you guys are at, but I am celebrating. I have a lot of things to celebrate about, man. Let me pause the music real quick so I can get into it, man. So this is episode 50. Episode 50 of the DJ Erica podcast. I know that you guys see the feng shui and all this other stuff. I had to set up, do a different set, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to really try to change the energy and just shift it for a second and show you guys how much I've progressed and just, you know, really feel the vibe of my progression as a podcaster, as a DJ, just someone in general in media, you know what I'm saying? I want to say thank you guys so much for the support. Since I've started this podcast in the past year or so, I've had a lot of different things going on, a lot of good, a lot of bad, but at the end of the day, I'm still here and I'm still recording my show for you guys. And because of the support, and because of you guys sharing, subscribing, and everything else, the streams of the podcast has tripled in the past month, okay? And I really appreciate everybody that's been listening and just, you know, hanging out with your girl, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of time to produce this. Of course, I'm on camera producing it, I'm doing the audio recording, I'm doing everything at one time. So it's just, you know, sometimes when you're doing this, and of course I'm talking to myself, sometimes it's a bit difficult trying to stay on top of things with the news and everything else, the celebrity news and everything else. But one thing I've learned from building my own podcast is learning how to pace myself. You know what I'm saying? And really trying to do it at my own time and trusting in my viewers, you know, that they going to tune in and want to hear my opinion. All right. So with that being said, let's talk about some serious news, and then we're going to get into these hot topics. These hot topics are going to be Chance the Rapper suing his manager after his manager sued him. Jay-Z just struck a major deal for his alcohol company, his alcohol drink line. He has a big deal that just happened, and so much other things. But let's talk about Texas for a second, you guys, and talk about the devastation that's going on because of this freeze, you know, this winter freeze and winter solstice, whatever you want to call it, in Texas, man. It's been crazy. A lot of people have been affected by it. I know some friends who lives over near the border near Louisiana who's been affected by it, lost power, pipes have been busted, a lot of people have lost food, and you know, it's just really scary. And it makes me think about all of the things that us as people seem to not focus on. I know when you guys come on my show, of course, you guys, I'm going to tell you the tea, I'm going to tell you the gossip, but I also want to talk about something that's really important and talk about the things that's affecting us as human beings around the world, and that being climate change. You know, the effects of not being able to be prepared for these serious events that goes on in Mother Nature. You know, last year we seen people in California, things burning down, and I'm still, I know people that live in California and they're still affected by that. You know what I'm saying, with all the forest fires and everything else. And now we got our people out in Texas who are going through some serious things with this entire winter solstice and this freeze over, this dark winter that's just come upon everybody out of nowhere. And you know, why all this is going down, you would think that since Texas, you know, seemed to be a well-rounded state, you know what I mean, unfortunately the leaders there just don't seem to care. And particularly talking about the representative that they have over there, Ted Cruz, who decided to go on a freaking vacation to Cancun, why there's like thousands and thousands or even millions of people. I don't know what the full population of Texas is, but probably over 1 million people without power, without food, without resources, without lights, without gas. People are being poisoned by carbon monoxide because they're bringing their grills into the house to light on fire so they can warm themselves. There's people freezing to death. You know, it's just all of this travesty going on. And Ted Cruz decides to go to Cancun and take a break and leave his dog behind. Okay, this poor little puppy, he leaves him behind and goes on a vacation while all of his people that's depending on him, that voted him into office, is dying, freezing. Their food is, you know, the food is going to waste. I mean, pipes are bursting, and I don't know what it is about like how their structure is, but it seemed like the pipes burst within the ceiling and just started pouring through everybody's houses. Houses is being flooded out, and there's a lot of people that's being affected, and it's not just average regular people. We've seen people like Tammy Roman go on social media from Basketball Wives. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know who that is, and she was basically crying because she was in Atlanta filming a show, and basically she was just talking about how her entire house has been destroyed and, you know, been flooded and everything else. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people on social media basically, you know, saying, well, she got money, she got insurance, and that's going to be fine or whatever. You know what I mean? Who cares? She's rich and this, and this. But then, you know, I had to reply back because sometimes, you know, I like to go through social media. I like to see what people are talking about because that's what I do. I interact with people. I'm a part of the people. I talk as a commentator and everything else, as a podcaster, but I also interact with people because I'm a regular person too. And I reply back to the other person that said, you guys, just because somebody is wealthy or rich doesn't mean they don't have things that's irreplaceable, such as family portraits or gifts that have been given to them by deceased loved ones. Like, there's certain things that you can't replace. If a portrait is destroyed and it's just a one-time portrait that was made for her and her mom or whoever, you know, and that's destroyed and they don't have any copies of it, how can it be replaced? Insurance can't replace that, you know? And the same thing as jewelry that someone gives to you. That could be damaged. It's so many different things that we have that we pass down from generation to generation to each other, souvenirs, family souvenirs, that if something was to happen like this and that everything is destroyed, even if we're rich and we can rebuild, those things can't be replaced. So I think that when it comes to being empathetic, we need to have empathy for everybody, whether they're rich or poor or whatever, because everyone is taking a loss. You know, granted, it might be a little bit easier for people that have the actual money to rebuild, the wealthier, the richer people to have the funds to rebuild. But at the same time, the same way the poor people is taking the loss and they can't rebuild is bad. But there's also people who can rebuild, but they can't bring back the gifts that a loved one who's deceased gave to them. They can't bring back souvenirs and things that they have of value, awards that they may have received. People have diplomas, like stuff of value that shows that really brings home who the person is, you know, and the values of their life and the things that they have. Because at the end of the day, money, it has value for building and everything else, but it really doesn't have any real tangible emotional value to it as a gift from a family member, a loved one, or a deceased loved one given to you, or a portrait that you have, or something, you know what I mean? So I just feel like everybody that's out there that's been on the internet that may be envious or, you know, express some jealousy for other people who's doing better than you financially, I think that you should kind of watch and think about the stuff that you say. You know what I mean? Because just because someone's famous or has more money than you, that doesn't mean that they can't take a loss neither. You know, people that's rich have deaths in their family, same way us average folks have deaths in their family, and we go through things and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I just want people to see that we're all human at the end of the day, people with feelings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But shame on Ted Cruz for leaving his people behind. But I want people to also realize this is what happens when you vote. It's important for you guys to pay attention to the candidates that you put into office. This is a candidate that they decided to vote into office. It's a Republican candidate that decided to vote into office, or whatever party you is. I'm not here to be political and all this extra stuff, but whether it's a Democrat, whether it's a Republican, pay attention to the people that you decide to put into office. And I hope that this opens the eyes to those who are Republican, who decided to vote and put this man into office, or whoever else voted to put this man in office, can see that he doesn't care about the people. And hopefully you guys can find somebody, a better candidate, to replace him whenever you guys have to vote again for your next senator, or whatever he is, that's running over there, running through Texas. But yeah, you guys, it's just been crazy. I've seen a lot of things on the internet. People are on TikTok showing how like their ceilings are falling in from the flooding. The pipes have burst because it's so cold. People are, having carbon monoxide poisoning, going inside the car. One thing I was just like so confused, and it's like we live in a society here in America where we are saturated with so many other things of non-importance that the important stuff seem to go over people's head, and they don't teach their families certain survival skills. Like, I personally know that it's not smart to go into a garage in your car with all of the windows and doors closed, okay, and turning the car on, heating yourself up inside the garage. That will create poisoning, carbon monoxide poisoning. Same thing as when your gas and electricity, your gas gets cut off. You're not supposed to have the heat running. You're supposed to turn it off so you don't get carbon monoxide poisoning if there's no heat coming through the house. Like, there's certain things that you should just know. I was checking out someone else's podcast, and they made something that made totally good sense about survival. And like, okay, so for instance, you guys are in the winter freeze right now over in Texas. I don't know who's listening for Texas, but hopefully this helps you guys. And I'm just trying to give out advice. But a lot of people talk about how they've lost food and everything else because their electricity was cut off. But if you really think about it like this, if it is enough snow outside and you happen to be one of the few people who had enough snow that's high up, you could have possibly took that meat and put it outside in the backyard inside of the snow, and that would have preserved your food. It's just certain things that people can do to keep them and get them through hard times like this. You know what I mean? So, I was just sitting there thinking about it. That's something that sparked me in my mind. I'm like, wow, you know what? That is a good suggestion. But see, those are the things that most people don't have the common sense to think about, to be like, yo, like, okay, we're having the ice capades outside. It's a dark winter. It's freezing. It's below whatever. This is something new. My electricity just got shut off. The food is going bad. We're getting flooded. Take the food out of the refrigerator and sit it inside the snow, because you're still going to make sure that the stuff is frozen. It's in a cold surface, so it might actually last. So that is something I was sitting there thinking about. And when I was listening to someone else's podcast or whatever, and I was like, that makes totally good sense. And there's certain things that we need to know about and learn how to, clean out water, stuff like that. I mean, if you can't really like use the bathroom, the water isn't running through your house. It's just certain things that everybody needs to start learning and take a precaution of, because this past year and a half has been really just crazy. It's been really, like, I could say a doozy, okay, like for real. Anything that could go wrong has gone wrong in the past year and a half. And this decade, the 2020s, has been one hell of a decade. It's crazy because it seemed like every 100 years we deal with a pandemic or so. And 20 years ago, we was dealing with the Spanish flu. And now we're still in the middle of the pandemic of the coronavirus. And now they got this vaccine. And for most people that's out there, I don't want to talk too much about it on YouTube, but I want to know if you guys might be getting the vaccine. Why or why not in comment below. I'm not going to really get political, and I'm not going to say, oh, well, this. Me personally, I just want to know if you guys think it's the best idea for us to go ahead and get these shots or not. Okay, tell me your opinions on it and comment below. And if you guys are anywhere on Apple Music, you can write reviews on certain topics that I talk about. So if you're listening on Apple Music, go ahead and give me whatever rating that you want to give me, and give your opinion on the topic that I'm talking about. Okay, so make sure you guys do that. I'm just trying to do some more interaction with you guys and really just try to build a community. And also, before we get into the hot topics, I want to get into the hot topics momentarily. Just make sure you do me a favor. If you haven't already, if you're all into this, subscribe. And if you really all into it, share it with a neighbor, y'all, because I put a lot of time into this, and this is a community that we're building. The DJ Jerica podcast is a community of people who love entertainment, who loves gossip, who likes to talk about the news around us, and people who are music lovers like myself. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to get to talking about these hot topics. We're going to get to talk about Chance the Rapper, Jay-Z, and all these other things going on, and we're going to talk about Meek Mills beef with Vanessa Bryant and everything else going on with that. That's been a mess, you know, and like Meek Mills should be ashamed of himself. It's just pathetic. But anyways, y'all, so let's get into the hot topics right now. Now, first of all, before I get to Chance the Rapper, let's put a prayer up for Tiger Woods, because just found out the news that he got in a serious car accident the other day, and he basically had to get like rods and everything else replaced in his leg. His car basically flew off of like an embankment somewhere in LA, and it flipped over, and they said they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of the car and safely to the ER, and they had took him into surgery, and they're saying that he's still alive, and it's a good chance that he will make it, you guys. Hopefully, we're praying that he gets out of that situation. They're saying that he's alive and he will make it, you know what I mean? But this is crazy because this happens to be Tiger Woods' third accident that he's had over the past few years. Not exactly sure what happened with this car accident. They said that he had recently woke up and said he had no recollection of the car accident or what actually happened or caused the accident. According to authorities, they're basically saying that they didn't see anything that he did wrong, so they won't be charging him with anything. The previous incidents that he had like I think he had like a DUI, or was it? No, I don't think it was a DUI. I think he was driving and he fell asleep driving because of medication he took allegedly. So that was another accident that he had, and then it was a previous accident he had. But this is like his third accident that he's had over like the past decade. Okay, and this one was really bad, and his car flipped down outside of an embankment or wherever it was, and it rolled, and luckily the EMT people that came in and they were able to save him. And this is crazy because we're only a year out from losing Kobe Bryant in a crazy accident that happened to happen in LA as well, with the helicopter incident and everything else. And it's just crazy because it just seemed like we're losing a lot of people at a high substantial rate. We're losing a lot of legends left and right. And I really just, I don't know Tiger Woods or whatever, but what I can say is that he's legendary for being one of the first people of color to break the records that he did in golf and has in golf. So I don't know if he's going to continue to play golf after this. They were saying that he was on his way to an event in regards to like a club he was in for golfing or whatever. He's supposed to be a guest, but unfortunately he didn't make it. And when he was driving there, he had that accident. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to go on in regards to Tiger Woods' career, but I'm glad that he's still with us, and hopefully he can recover and he won't need to be, in a wheelchair or anything like that for a very long time or anything. But it's just insane that this whole thing has happened. And I had a little bit of an expert, and it was Associated Press that basically was saying, this is from TMZ, not Associated Press, TMZ. They were basically saying that he was hospitalized and it was only a single car accident. So it was a single car crash. There was no other people involved in the crash. He literally was just driving and he just had an accident with himself. So, it's just, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what could have made him fall or slip or made his car crash, but I'm glad that he's still alive, and we ain't reporting that he had perished in that accident. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always some crazy news going on with celebrities and these accidents that they're getting involved in or they have and everything else. So, big up to Tiger Woods, and I hope he gets better soon. Anyway, let's get to talking about Chance the Rapper. Okay, Chance the Rapper, and he's like the most unproblematic hip-hop artist. His career was definitely taking off like several years ago, especially when the time when Barack Obama was president. His career really went to the next level because Barack Obama and Obama seemed to really have a certain favoritism towards him, which helped to propel Chance the Rapper to the next level when it comes to viewership and stuff like that. And he was doing a lot of stuff, and he was saying that he was an independent artist. He even his mixtape even won him a Grammy. You know what I mean? He was doing some really big things. And I noticed over the past year or so, it seemed like his career, he hasn't been putting out much music lately. I mean, if he has been, it hasn't been being as highlighted as it used to be. I'm not exactly sure why this has happened, but according to sources, okay, Chance the Rapper is now suing the manager that sued him. And this is a long story, and it's coming from Pitchfork, okay? Now, the reason why Chance the Rapper manager Pat allegedly sued him was because of breach of contract. He was basically trying to say that Chance the Rapper wasn't properly compensating him for certain things that he agreed to in his contract, and Chance the Rapper basically came back and said, you know, of course he was denying those allegations and saying that that wasn't correct and things of that nature, and now Chance the Rapper is basically suing him. And man, this is a long story. I'm going to read some of it to you guys, and then I'm going to try to give some opinions on what I feel about it, and then we can talk further about it, and just talking about management and really just knowing the people that you have around you and understanding what everybody's roles is in this, and how people could just backstab you in business. You can't really trust people in regards to business. So let me just read this excerpt. This is from Pitchfork, okay? It says, last year, Chance the Rapper's former manager, Pat Corcoran, I think it's Corcoran. Okay, let's try it again. Last year, Chance the Rapper former manager Pat Corcoran, aka Pat the Manager, sued Chance for breach of contract. Chance is now has responded to a lawsuit, filing a motion to dismiss the majority of Pat's claims, according to the Chicago Tribune reports, and Pitchfork can confirm this information. In addition, Chance has filed his own lawsuit, okay, against Pat the Manager, alleging that Pat the Manager is in fact the one who breached the contract, okay, allegedly. Lawyers for Chance the Rapper, whose real name is Chancellor J. Bennett, shared the following statement with Pitchfork. Okay, Mr. Pat, the manager, has been paid in full under his management services and contracts for Mr. Bennett, yet he chooses to file a groundless and insulting lawsuit that ignores his own improper self-dealings and incompetence. Mr. Bennett has moved to dismiss the majority of this meritless lawsuit and filed his own lawsuit to remedy the harm that Mr. Pat the Manager has caused through the breaching of his duties. Okay, Mr. Pat trusted Mr. Bennett, who is Chance the Rapper. Okay, Chance the Rapper trusted legal systems to reveal the truth of the parties and relationships in due course. Okay, and this just goes into a whole spiel. Basically, they had a management deal where Pat the Manager would get like 15% of the profits that was related to Chance the Rapper, which would be merchandise, tours, concerts, mixtapes, album sales, and everything else. He would get 15% of that cut. The 50% is one of the few allegations that Chance and his lawyers do not deny in response to their lawsuit. Chance and the team do, however, deny the outstanding charges that they say they owe Pat the Manager. So it's just a lot that's going on. There's a lot of disagreements, okay? In regards to what's owed, what money is owed, and what's not owed. And from the excerpt, it says disagreements between Pat the Manager and Chance the Rapper. A story largely stemmed from differing views on the manager's influence and impact on the rapper's career. For example, Pat the Manager claimed that in the lawsuit that he and the agent Clara Lewis were able to schedule Bennett as the opening act for several well-known artists, as well as such as Eminem and Mac Miller, due to the success of acid rap. In a response, Chance and his lawyers say the bookings were not a result of any assistance provided by Pat the Manager. In addition, Pat the Manager claimed that he was fired due to fan disappointment in Bennett's most recent album, The Big Day, and the underwhelming fan support in its association with his tour. Okay, so he also derided the album's recording process and its quality, claiming that the Big Day was panned by many influential critics. Chance and his team instead say the album received many favorable reviews, and they also alleged that Pat the Manager had all but abandoned his management responsibilities prior to and during the creation of the album, choosing to delegate his responsibilities to his employees so he could spend more time pursuing his own separate interests, okay, in other businesses. So one of his separate interests, right, okay, as the article goes, he basically was saying that he was doing side deals, okay, in order for Chance the Rapper to get certain things done. So basically, one of the allegations, okay, Chance used was basically talking about how he had a deal going on allegedly had a deal going on with Live Nation to book Chance the Rapper, okay, at one of these tours. And he basically was saying that if Live Nation decided to do a business deal with Pat the manager's wine company, Chance the Rapper would be more likely to go on a tour. So he basically was like haggling business deals outside of his deals that he was doing for Chance the Rapper, which is basically like a breach of contract and it's inappropriate, okay? And basically, you know, he basically was saying that he violated his duties as a manager doing such a thing and basically using Chance the Rapper's name to capitalize and make additional business deals, okay? So yeah, long story short, basically Pat the manager, his LLC and his team basically came out and denied all the claims. And you know, we just gonna sit back and see how this whole thing unfold in regards to this Chance the Rapper and his lawsuit and everything else. But you know, this is an example that you got to be careful who you decide to do business with, you know, and just watch the people around you. I did notice that Chance the Rapper career has really taken a downward slope, and I don't know if it's because of the beef that he had with his manager, if he knows his manager was stealing or anything like that. But I hope that, you know, Chance the Rapper is able to come back from this and really get his career back in order, because I noticed that his music isn't hitting like it used to, man. And I really hope that everything in regards to his team, it works out. Maybe this is why his music has been pushed so hard, because of this lawsuit between him and this manager who's been in control of his entire brand. His brand is at stake with this lawsuit. So we're just gonna sit back and see exactly what happens with that. Who knows? We don't know. Okay, if you guys have a certain opinion on that, if y'all know something about the story and you guys want to add in, make sure you guys leave a comment on that situation in regards to Chance the Rapper and the manager. Anybody that's a music artist watching this right now, have you guys ever had situations or squabbles with your manager because they were doing side deals or side hustling you or stealing from you? If you guys had an experience where somebody has stole from you financially, tell me y'all stories below, because I want to hear it. I want to hear all of that stuff, how y'all feel about that particular situation and how you had that experience. You ain't got to be Chance the Rapper to get, you know, jacked and stolen from it. If you're running a business, being a businesswoman or a businessman, it can happen, okay? Now moving on to this whole situation with Vanessa Bryant, the wife of Kobe Bryant, the widow of Kobe Bryant, and Meek Mills, okay? So Meek Mill, the rapper, decided to come out with a new song a couple of weeks ago, okay? In the song, he basically made a song lyric that many could take as offensive in regards to Kobe Bryant and his helicopter crash. Now, the lyrics in the song, okay, this particular song he put out, it says, "This B, I'm effing, always tell me she love me, but she ain't ever showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper, it be another Kobe." So it's just like, okay, so that, let me read it again. "This B, I'm effing, always tell me she loves me, but she ain't ever showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper, it be another Kobe." So it's like a thing where he basically references, basically saying that, try to make reference to his helicopter crash that happened. And it's just distasteful, okay? It's just inappropriate. I don't know why he had to use that particular line and reference or whatever situation may be. And a lot of people saying stuff about it for like the past week or so. And a couple of days ago, Vanessa Bryant took to Instagram and put up a post. It called Meek Mills out and basically said, this is what it says, and I quote, "Dear at Meek Mills," and she added him too. She said straight directly to him and said him, okay? "At Meek Mills, I find this line to be extremely insensitive and disrespectful, period. I am not familiar with any of your music, but I believe you could do better than this. If you are a fan, fine. There's a better way to show your admiration for my husband. This lacks respect intact," okay? So she sent that out. Now, You would think that was going to be the end of it, okay? Because she put it out there. You would think that Meek Mills was going to reply back and say, I apologize, or just stay silent. Because a lot of times when celebrities are in the middle of a squabble or a situation with someone, they say, you know what, I'm just going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to act like it didn't happen. No, Meek Mills had to come out, and he decides to respond with some tweets that people are alleging that was going back to Vanessa Bryant. Now, mind you, I was chilling one night. Listen, I was watching the whole thing unfold because I was like, okay, let me go to bed. All of a sudden, all the celebrities acting up, okay? After she put this post up, okay, I find it, I screenshot it, whatever. Goes over to Twitter, right? I start watching Meek Mill tweets. The tweets he's posting, immediately following her post, okay? Not too long after her post, okay? And then start going through the web. He says, I'm going back savage in this S. F your feelings. Okay, so he basically just told her, and everybody's interpreted that she's basically saying that I don't care if I hurt your feelings about your husband. I'm gonna say whatever the F I want to say in my music, even if it is something that's offensive and basically coming after your husband and, you know, your daughter who's been killed in a horrific helicopter crash not too long ago. Like, it's just disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? So after those tweets popped up, you know, everybody went on social media. Everybody is dragging Meek Mills. Everybody's sitting here saying like, yo, he trash, you this, and this. And I'm just trying to understand like what would make him have this reply back to Vanessa Bryant. You know, the first thing is you started it, dude. You started it by bringing her husband and, you know, helicopter crash into your lyrics and making this situation about his death into a distasteful matter and using it in your music. Okay, so you actually started this situation. Secondly, okay, she has the right to reply. You felt like you had a right to speak on a situation, you know, like Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash, and really disregard the feelings of his entire family, his wife and his kids in particularly. And then you had the audacity to try to clap back at a woman who was married to him, basically telling you that you were wrong for saying those things. I just can't support your music, okay? And I'm just really trying to understand, you know, what was the point of replying on Twitter and saying these things? And then Meek Mill decided he wanted to come back around again the next day and say, well, I apologize to Vanessa Bryant in private and, you know, everything is smooth. This is what he's basically saying on Twitter. Now, my thing is, okay, so you apologize to her in privacy, but I feel like you should have made a public apology. But I guess maybe you telling us that you apologized to her was your public apology. But what was the point of you actually going on Twitter and basically adding insult to injury? You could have flat out just stayed silent, called up Vanessa Bryant, apologized to her, and then the next day left that tweet. But no, you didn't do that. You let the media storm get to brewing and everything else. And maybe you made this lyric to hope that you could gain some publicity for your music or whatever you're doing. But you really just like tried to pull this publicity stunt, say these nasty things. She finally replied back to you. You decide to go on Twitter. You knew what you said, whether it was supposed to have been towards her or not. You knew what people was going to interpret it as. So that's adding more to it. So you basically are capitalizing off of this controversy surrounding Kobe Bryant's death. And it's like, there's no way of making it sound good. There's no way of making it feel like, oh yeah, he's cool, he this, and this. It makes people not want to support you, Meek Mills. It makes people not want to listen to your music like that and be like, dude, like he tripping. Like you're really doing the most right now. Because it's just a time and a place for everything. And that, to me, it wasn't a time and place. You can have whatever opinion that you want, but at the same time, for her to say, yo, I really didn't appreciate you saying that, you could have just simply said, yo, I apologize for those lyrics that I put out there, and put a post up and said, I apologize to her privately, I'm apologizing publicly, and left it as that. But you decided to try to be even more distasteful and basically say, F her feelings, yo. So it's just crazy, yo. But if you guys have y'all opinion on that, y'all tell me what y'all think. And like I said, y'all comment below about the whole situation. Do you feel like Meek Mills was inappropriate for the lyrics? Do you feel like he could just say whatever he want? Do you feel like his response to Vanessa Bryant was inappropriate with him saying F her feelings and stuff like that? Y'all tell me what y'all think about the whole situation. tell me what y'all think about that. And then we're going to go over to the next situation going on. In other big business news, Jay-Z basically just sold 50% of his luxury champagne brand to another luxury champagne brand. So he has sold 50% of Ace of Spades, which is his champagne brand, to luxury powerhouse LVMH. It's going to be a partnership. People are saying, allegedly, according to the Rolling Stone, that many people don't know exactly how much he got, but if we dissect the lyrics to one of his songs, and Meek Mills' song from 2018, What's Free, he said that his brand was worth $500 million, which is about $250 million at a 50% stake. Okay, so he basically just did a partnership. They did a buyout. Jay-Z put out a statement basically, saying that he's excited, saying that the people that's involved was very familiar with him the entire time, and that he is confident, about the share power of Moet Hennessy Global Distribution framework. Okay, and hey, what can you say about it? Honestly, I feel like Jay-Z has literally done everything. Is there anything Jay-Z hasn't done as a businessman? Honestly, he literally is a businessman, like he said in his song. And, I think the only thing that's missing right now is him creating a master class and charging people to understand, but how he's able to just do so many deals and be successful with it. I mean, he's literally stepped in every field that you could think of. I mean, he has a marijuana line that he just recently put out. He also has a publishing imprint business. What's called Rock Lit 101. He, of course, he got Rock Nation. He also, he's doing everything for the Super Bowl, and it's some other stuff that they just recently put out that he was doing too. It's just like, this man is basically unstoppable, and he's smart. In a pandemic, I think it is a smart move. I mean, I'm not into what he's doing, but I think it would be a smart move to possibly do a sell, and basically sell a share of that 50% of his business to secure, some financial grounding in regards to his champagne line and how he's moving everything else. So, big up to Mr. Sean Jay-Z Carter over there, just making moves and making sure that he stays solidified as a billionaire. Speaking of billionaires, let's talk about Dr. Dre and his whole situation that he has going on. Dr. Dre has been back in the studio, and he basically is making a little bit of hot topics or whatever, because he basically put out a song and was calling out his ex-wife. Basically, because he's been in his messy divorce this entire time. Dr. Dre's been making headlines left and right, and he has a little divorce that's going on. It's a big divorce, because she's trying to take him for everything he has right now. It seems to be, she's been trying to expose him for all his mistresses, and one of his mistresses came out to be April Jones, allegedly April Jones from Love and Hip Hop. And most of you guys who do not know April Jones is the ex of Omarion. She's also the mother of Omarion's 2 kids, and I really don't see any problem with them dating, whatever. It's age appropriate. It is what it is. They can do whatever they want to do. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Anyways, but outside of that, he basically had a new song that he just put out, and one of his music associates basically was playing it, and it says, let me read the excerpts from Complex. It says, it's safe to say Dr. Dre has had a turbulent few months, yet instead of keeping things to himself, Dr. Dre has decided to channel his anger and emotions to a song featuring former Popper King Croc. The unreleased song was previewed by DJ Silk on Instagram Live and serves a platform for Dr. Dre to talk about his pending divorce and health scare. And the lyric says, trying to kill me with them lies and the perjury. And then Dr. Dre raps, I see you, trying to F me while I'm in surgery. We don't tolerate the nonsense by any means. Get your hand out of my pocket. So, in that line, he basically, y'all hear what he said. He basically tired of this lady trying to take him and milk him for everything he has. Listen, I don't know what to say about that whole situation right there. It looks as if, Dr. Dre's wife is going to basically get everything that she wants from this divorce. She's been with him for 20-something years. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure he has enough attorneys, enough money to be able to get this lady exactly what she wants. From what I've seen when he had the aneurysm, he basically was just like agreeing to certain terms in regards to the divorce. And hopefully he's be able to do that and get his health and stuff back in order. I really don't know, but it's just been so much controversy surrounded Dr. Dre because a lot of people made allegations about him abusing women and things of that nature. And people have been just back and forth in the media, basically trying to say, do Dr. Dre really deserve this divorce? People having a lot of opinions on whether, this is karma for the things that he allegedly done to women and all this other stuff that they got going on, man. So I want to know what y'all think about the whole situation. Do y'all feel that Dr. Dre's situation that's going on right now in regards to his divorce and his ex-wife taking all his money, do you guys feel like that's karma for his alleged involvement in beating on females and everything else? Do y'all feel like he's getting bad karma back? This is stuff that people are saying on the streets, y'all. I want to know what y'all think about the whole situation. And I'm trying to hear this Dr. Dre's music because I feel like he's been putting out, what is it, Detox is supposed to be the album? He been talking about Detox for the past 20 years and we still ain't heard nothing. But we at least heard two lyrics, or two two verses from his possible song that he might release, because we don't even know if he's gonna actually release it, because you know how Dr. Dre do, he makes stuff and then he just like let it sit there for like another century. So hopefully he actually does release it and we can get our life off of the stuff that he's talking about for real. In other news, Killer Mike, basically, you guys know who Killer Mike is. He's an activist, he's a rapper in Atlanta, a very prominent guy. He's done a lot of stuff for the black community. I think he invested in the first black owned bank and stuff. Like, he did a lot of stuff to help a lot of people in Atlanta. And unfortunately, his barbershop that he's planning on opening basically will not be opening as scheduled, because these fools out in Atlanta is out here shooting up the place, shooting up the joint, acting like straight up. Okay, listen. Killer Mike went on the record, basically going on Instagram, telling everybody that they're gonna have to delay the grand opening of his brand new barbershop because there was a bunch of idiots out here, a bunch of guys out there shooting up the place, and they shot through one of his windows at his barbershop. And it's just embarrassing, really. It's just really embarrassing. Atlanta has become like the capitalist, because it became the capital of black entrepreneurship, black financial success, just black prosperity in general. If you're talking about being able to build, being able to start your own business, entrepreneurship, just anything that you could think of when it comes to black people prospering and being successful, I could say Atlanta has become that Wakanda, I could say, figuratively, for black people to really build. And, unfortunately with that, they're not, immune to dealing with the additional things that this happens so often in black culture, which is gang violence and shootings and all this other stuff that's going on. And the rate in which the shootings and violence have increased in the past couple of years in Atlanta has been astonishing, okay? I mean, so much so that we've had rappers like T.I. come out basically upsetting other people by saying, don't come to Atlanta with your BS, keep that stuff over there where you came from, and negative things. And a lot of rappers and things of that nature has been coming out trying to call out people who's moved to Atlanta that's been shooting it up, making it turn from a nice, happy Wakanda place to, the straight up hood. Black people out here being hood, and it's been people are shooting in places where people would view as a high class area. They just don't care. They're just shooting up the place, and nothing is really being done. It doesn't seem that way. And Killer Mike took to his Instagram and basically discussed it. And, he did, say that he's still going to open up the barbershop, and he denounced the people, basically saying that, you guys shouldn't have did that. You guys are basically contributing to the problem. And luckily y'all didn't shoot each other. Y'all didn't have the aim to shoot each other, because, that would have been two families would have lost, and them, having to pay for funeral costs and everything else, just doing stupid stuff to help destroy what him and other people in Atlanta is trying to build up for black people. And it's just unfortunate, because this isn't just a problem that's in Atlanta. This is a worldwide, nationwide problem. And when it comes to black communities, like, we still have this gang culture and this gun violence that continue to go on over and over and over again. And it's like, when is it going to stop? It's only been going on for like the past 40 years. When is the black community, and black men in particularly, going to sit down and realize that you're really just destroying your own communities? And this is the reason why we really can't get ahead of life. We have a lot of other things that goes on around us, of course, but you would say that, because we're oppressed people, that we can't get to a certain area or reach a certain point of success because of that. But it's really, I really believe that it's more so us, just as people, dragging each other down, whether it's gun violence or whether it's just, verbally attacking each other, whether it's just hating each other, not supporting each other. It's so many different things that us as black people in general that we just do. And it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. We have people, on everyday life, everyday circumstances, black folks, where you be a person to say, yo, I just got the job and I just got this job and got a promotion, and I'm the first black person to do this and this, and your family members or your friends that you tell, they not happy about it. They giving you the side eye, like, girl, why are you trying to be successful? Like, or they just give you the grunt, like, oh. And the funny thing is, like, with me building my brand, I be catching on to that even more, like how many people actually be happy for me, and people that don't be happy for me. I can feel the energy at the end of the day. I can feel the shade, you know what I mean? And it's crazy that there's so many people, in particular, like when you're black and you're trying to build, that your own people don't want to see you be successful. Your own people say that they want to see you be successful, but their actions speak something so much louder, and so, it's so vivid, you know what I mean? To the point where they become envious, and they basically want to see you not win. They don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you be successful. In the words of DJ Khaled, like he always say, he said they don't, they hate to see you win out here. And you know what I'm saying? And the goal out here in life is to win and be successful, but it's a damn shame that you can't celebrate with your own people, your accomplishment and your success, because everybody is always trying to drag you down. Everybody is out here, a lot of people is out here player hating, you know what I'm saying? Nothing positive coming from the situation. You know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate that with people like Killer Mike and other entrepreneurs that's building up Atlanta and making it successful, there's still a bunch of ignorant N-words, okay? And I'm doing this PG a little bit on my podcast because YouTube be on the stuff, whatever. But I'll say it one time for the mind. Ignorant niggas, okay? That's it, okay? Running around here being stupid, shooting up places. That I heard about a little girl who got killed in Atlanta because of this ignorance that's going on in Atlanta. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, it's embarrassing. And it's like, it's hard for us to be able to get over and have respect or gain respect from other people when we don't respect each other in our own backyards, y'all. We don't respect each other enough to not kill each other. We don't respect each other enough to really honor and support each other when we're doing something and really mean it. It's embarrassing. That's what it is. And whoever did the shooting, they should be ashamed of themselves. The same time that it takes for you to go and buy a gun and shoot up a place, or to sell drugs or do stuff that's illegal, you can put that much money and time into building a business and creating something for your communities, so you don't basically have an imprint of, oh, rest in peace, nuck, this, and this, and you ain't leaving a real legacy behind for your people to be proud of. And, something, leave something for your children, just something of substance. And there's just so many black people that do not do that, and it's embarrassing. It's sad. It really is sad that there's so many black folks out here that just don't get it and don't get that with every person that you harm and stuff like that, you're destroying yourselves. You get what I'm saying? And people feel like, oh, well, I just shot him, so it don't matter. But you're really destroying yourselves, and you're basically helping people that you say is oppressing you. You're actually helping to suppress yourself and making it so you guys can't reach the promised land, in the words of MLK. You know what I'm saying? In the words of MLK and Martin Luther King, how are we gonna make it to the promised land, y'all? We ain't gonna make it to the promised land if we keep on around here shooting each other up and basically tearing each other down and being some haters. And it's crazy because I noticed that it's usually with my own people where I get the lack and less support, whether it's, in person, behind the scenes, whatever, friends, whatever, family, sometimes, it's a sad thing when you can't really celebrate the success and the growth of your brand. You can't celebrate the success and the growth of your brand. Because there's so many people hating on you and basically not wanting you to see well, and it's your own people, and I always say this thing to people, that how I run things is I don't announce, I just unveil. And the reason why I do that is because there's so many people that's praying against you being successful. There's so many people who do not want to see you do well, and it can, and particularly I'm talking about for my black folks out there, we know what it's like to have our own people continually be on this crab in a barrel mentality, continually be unprofessional, continue to be nasty for no reason, continue to just really just push off a negative energy that's not needed to each other, instead of trying to unite and really build a bridge and gap between each other and support one another. And it's very, very hard to do that. And I know that there's people out here who's probably builders out there that's trying to create whatever you're trying to create, or if you're just a person who works and stuff like that and you're trying to do something in your community where you try to work with people and it's just, you know, it's just nasty attitude, everything else that goes around it. It's just, as black folks, you know, we really got to start doing better, you know. And me personally, I have given up on me expecting like my own people to unite with me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about from the business perspective and from like just support perspective. I know that I have my black viewers and listeners and stuff like that. I'm not talking about y'all, but I'm talking about my own people who's in this same life as me in regards to coming in, doing media work, entrepreneurship and stuff like that. It's hard to really get that support and genuine support without people, you know, coming at you or being disingenuous or just flat out just being nasty for no reason. And that's not the type of person that I am, you know what I mean? But I'm learning, you know, and I never stop learning, and I'm evolving as a person, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you guys, y'all tell me what y'all think is going to be needed for us as black people to really get over to the promised land and be successful and stop all the shooting and genocides and, you know, the broken homes, the broken families, and all the stuff that's really tearing black people down as a whole, the absentee fathers, all of this stuff that goes on where we're not having no end goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it got to be something. It's something. This is something much bigger. We're in a totally different world now. We're in a pandemic. We got to start united. We got to start building. I always support my black people that's out there, you know, entrepreneurs, everything else. I'm the type of person who's going to support. Now, this is what I'm not going to support though. Okay, y'all, this is something that bothered me, and I'm just going to call it for what it is. Please do not come on my page spamming my page. And this is what I'm going to explain to you guys with spamming. I don't view spamming when you put up a post and you tag me in it and I personally know you. I'm going to approve it because that's support, right? That's support. And it doesn't matter who it is. You know, if you my friend and you got a business going on, I'm the type of person who's going to reshare that business. But if I absolutely do not know you, do not come on my page, my personal page, and start putting these posts under here talking about something. If you need graphics, if you need logos, if you need this and this, holla at me. And I'm putting under my post that I literally just put up. So you don't even know me. You haven't acknowledged me. You haven't even inboxed me and said, yo sis, yo, what's good? Hey, how you doing? Is it okay that I could just go ahead and put this post under your post? You're just gonna flat out do it. And that happened to me earlier today, and that bothered me. Okay, so I had to go ahead and you know, hit up the troll and be like, yo, man, the spammer, like, yo, this is not cool. Like, you build your own house, okay? I built my own house. Don't come breaking into my house trying to advertise your own shit. Build your own shit, okay? Because it takes a lot of time to do this. It takes a lot of time to create a podcast. It takes a lot of time to build a media brand. I got a website, djjericapod.com, where I'm breaking news. And it was one of those posts that I put up where I was breaking some news. And this person, instead of commenting on the subject and helping me move up the algorithm, you decide you want to promote your own shit. Promote that on your own page. I'm not coming on your page promoting nothing. You get what I'm saying? And that's not me saying, that's for people I don't know. But if I know you, tag me, I'll reshare it. Inbox to me, I'll reshare it on my page on my time. But what you not about to be doing is basically trying to steal my thunder and putting your stuff under my post. Like, that's so unprofessional. It's so messy, and it shows that you really don't know anything about business and marketing. You know what I'm saying? That's just a big no-no, ladies and gentlemen. I have to tell you. So it is what it is. And y'all, anybody that's out there who goes through that same thing, who basically has their own platform, have you guys dealt with that where you have people spamming you and just feeling like they could just come on in and drop their links, talk about some cartoons, graphics? And those people spam all the time. Honestly, I feel like they're like aliens or something. I don't know what the hell they are, but it's like Instagram or Facebook, there's at least 5 different people that comes out talking about some, do you want graphics? And the crazy thing is all of the graphics look the same. It looks like some cheap airbrush weird weird shit. I don't know, but don't post it on my page anymore because you will get roasted, toasted, and then blocked. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing. It's time for us to get into, I think we should be talking about maybe some music. Okay, let's talk about the music segment of the podcast, y'all. Yeah, y'all. Okay, so this is a music segment, y'all, and I'm gonna review some new music that's out right now, y'all. And you guys, you know, I like to add on to the podcast. You know, I got a little bit of music playing in the background because this is a music segment, and I want to talk about a couple of albums, you know, and you know, one new school, one old school, and talk about, just give you my review on it. And it's new singles and stuff that just dropped. Donald Jones got a new album out called 100% Free. I just got finished listening to that. And I'm going to point out my favorite songs off of that new album. And of course, Sid from the internet just dropped a brand new song too. If you guys haven't heard that yet, that joint is definitely rocking. Okay, I believe it's called, it's called Missing Out. Yeah, the new song is called Missing Out from Sid. That's a new R&B play too. And there's so many other songs that just like came out. Actually, Chloe and Halle also had a new music video drop for the title of their album single, which is Ungodly Hour, which is also the title of their album, Ungodly Hour, that they dropped last year. They finally dropped the music video for them, for that song. So, you know, it's definitely dope. I like it. And I think that the way that they're marketing their album is definitely smart. Very, very smart. They are really making sure that they stretch it out. And they're doing the old school method. You know what I mean? They're using the old school method where they're not just throwing away their album. A lot of artists, after they drop an album, they leave it into the last year and they really don't keep working the singles. But big up to Chloe and Halle for still working that same album and pushing the singles to the next level, y'all. Like, honestly, I enjoyed the music video. The music video is similar to the other music video that they had. I don't know if that was on purpose, you know, or if it was just the budget that they're working with. The video is dope, but that's not me throwing shade or anything. But I know that it's the same. But maybe it's just the theme of the album. They wanted to be a particular theme. And they want to keep the music video similar to each other. But yeah, it was definitely a dope music video. You know, and I think they actually got Grammy nominations this year, so we're gonna see exactly how that all works out, and hopefully they win a Grammy. They said Grammy's supposed to be going on. And speaking of which, Clive Davis, I had heard that Clive Davis was basically canceling the Grammy Gala because he has like Bell palsy or something going on with his face, and it was going through social media, and that was reported allegedly that he basically had Bell palsy on his face and he couldn't move his face or whatever. And I don't know, you know, he's older, he got to be like 90 years old, something like that. So he basically postponed his entire Grammy Gala part 2 of that until whenever, I don't know, but I know the Grammys is coming very soon. When is the Grammys? Anybody know? If you guys know when the Grammys is supposed to be happening, can you guys comment below and let me know, because I really have no clue when the Grammys is supposed to be going down. And I really just want to know, like, what day is it? I mean, how is it supposed to go? Is it going to be digital? What happened last year for the Grammys? I don't remember. You know what? I don't know if the world was shut down yet, because I think they start shutting everything down in March. So I think we did have a Grammys where people was actually there, or I don't remember. Anyway, anybody knows exactly when the Grammys is, y'all let your girl know. And then there was a couple other things before I get into Donell Jones and the album review and all the other music that's came out. Bobby Schmurder is out. He got released from prison. And you guys in the hip hop community, I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is. But for the folks that don't know who Bobby Schmurder is, you know, he's a hip hop artist that got the song, what is that? You know, I think what is the name of that song? Whatever. Everybody know the line. About a week ago. Get it a week ago. I call him a week ago. Whatever. Okay, that song went crazy. It was like his one hit, and then he got in trouble with the law, got locked up. He went to prison for about 6 years, and now he's out. Quavo from the Migos came and picked him up with his manager and everything else. And you know, within a day of him being released, he like garnished 3 million followers on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So And I'm hearing that he got a new business deal in the works, and he got some new music that's supposed to be dropping. I seen that on the internet. He got some new music that's supposed to be dropping real soon. So, you know, I'm looking forward to see what's next for Bobby Schmurder in his career. Luckily, you know, he came out in 6 years. He's still young, you know what I mean? I know he was young when he came up with his other songs, so I think he's probably like in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, I don't know. But he seemed to be young enough to still be able to have his hip-hop rap career. So we're going to see how his music does and whether the people are really going to support him like they say they do, and see what his music does and if it does numbers, and if he still got it, if he still could pump out those hits. I want to hear it, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'll review it, you know, and talk about his new music on the podcast, because that's what we love to do here. We like to review music and talk about it, you know what I'm saying? I can't play the music on here because ain't nobody about to be suing me. FYI, all the music that you guys hear was brought to you by YouTube, okay? Because I've been bringing my own music from YouTube and putting it on here to spice it up a little bit, but I do not put copyright music on my show. No siree. You guys are not flagging me and getting my stuff all messed up. So with that being said, let's continue forward. Okay, Lady Gaga, we're going to get to the reviews. Listen, we're getting to the reviews, but let's talk about how Lady Gaga, basically, this is what happening. Her dogs got kidnapped, okay, at gunpoint in Los Angeles, okay? The dog walker was walking in 3 dogs. Lady Gaga got these 3 bulldogs, okay? They're cute. It's 2 white ones and 1 black one, okay? The dog walker was walking the dogs, and all of a sudden somebody came in and ambushed them at gunpoint, shot the dog walker, okay? The dog walker got shot, and then they tried to kidnap all 3 dogs, but the black dog in the middle ran off, and they was only able to take the 2 white dogs on the outside, y'all. They done kidnapped these beautiful little fur babies, okay? And they're holding them for ransom. Lady Gaga decided to come on social media and tell everybody what's going on, and she is offering $500,000 to get her babies back, okay? Now, I hope that they do find the dogs. I'm not exactly sure, you know, why they will kidnap it. I heard that bulldogs are very expensive. You know, they're on the high ranking when it comes to dogs, and you know, I don't know part of the dog market, but whatever. They saying that the dogs were worth a lot of money, okay? And they kidnapped 2 out of the 3, okay? And it's just like, you know, what is wrong with people? And you know, it kind of made me not even want to move to Los Angeles or California area, because I feel like everything happens in California when it comes to these stars and stuff, and I guess maybe because they live out there or whatever. But Lady Gaga wasn't even in town. She's overseas shooting a movie, allegedly. That's what reports are saying. Reportedly, she's overseas shooting a movie. So she had the dog sitter or dog walker to take care of the dog while she's filming this movie, and then he gets jacked, he gets shot. Luckily, he's still alive, okay? He did survive the shooting, then he was took to the hospital, but now these 2 dogs is missing, and she's offered $500,000. Listen, I hope they come forward. My thing is I don't know if they're going to really come forward, because think of it like this. Now they done shot somebody for the dog, so they got possibly attempted homicide charges or assault with a deadly weapon charges, okay, pending against them. So if they did come out and say, hey, Lady Gaga, I'm the one that took the dog, can you give me the money? They can say it's going to be anonymous, but the police is going to track it anyway, and then you're going to get locked up. So I don't even think they're going to even come forward about these dogs. They probably resold the dogs. It's just messed up, okay? That's not okay. That's not okay to just go ahead and just be shooting people at gunpoint and stealing people dogs and stuff and everything else. You know what I'm saying? I hope that Lady Gaga find her dog. I'm a dog owner myself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those are our fur babies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here, they have kids they get birth to. And for a lot of people that don't have kids and they have dogs or, you know, pets or cats, stuff like that, those are our fur babies. Those are our kids in our head or whatever. And we take care of them. We take them to the hospital. We feed them and everything else daily. We're with them all the time. So just having your dog kidnapped, it's like having a child kidnapped. If you don't have any kids, it's just like, yo, man, it's not right. So I hope y'all go ahead and get Lady Gaga her damn dogs back, okay? Come on now. Whoever's listening to it. I know I got a lot of people out in California listening. So hopefully the dog nappers are listening. I'm asking y'all, please get this lady her dogs back, okay? What did the dog do to you, okay? People out here hustling, okay? Just selling dogs in the middle of a pandemic, stealing and shooting. It's just not a good look, y'all. Come on, let's get it together. And then, okay, so I think I went through the rest of the hot topics on that. So let's get back to the music reviews, okay? So before we get to Donell Jones' album, let's talk about Sid from the internet. She just put out a new song called Missing Out, okay? And for you guys who do not know the internet, don't know their music, y'all really need to go check them out, because listen, I discovered them about, I would say 5-6 years ago, and I've been in love with their music ever since. Their songs have been featured on Issa Rae's show Insecure and everything else. And you know, they're so talented, you know what I mean? They have such a great sound, and it's just shocking the fact that they're not bigger than what they are, the internet. They're literally the band. Her name of her band is The Internet, and they come from the crew that was a part of Frank Ocean. I'm kind of thinking the name of the crew that was with Frank Ocean and them. Comment below what the crew was that was with Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator and all them people. But yeah, she came from them. And they made a group, and it's called The Internet, and whatever. Well, she got another solo song that she just put out called Missing Out. I really like it. It's a nice, cool, smooth song. Sid always put out really nice, smooth records and stuff like that. From my perspective, I think that she listens to a lot of throwback R&B, and she gets a lot of influences from like the 1970s and 80s R&B singers and stuff like that when it comes to the music that she puts together. And I really, really like her material, man. And I'm hoping that maybe one day I can interview her and just talk to her about her music and the work that she does, because I really enjoy the music that she puts together and the sound that she puts together. And if you guys haven't already, y'all need to check out the most recent albums that they put out. One of my favorite out of the most recent two that they put out, Eagle Death, is definitely a banger. That was Grammy nominated, and honestly I feel like they deserve to win the Grammy, but hey, they got nominated at least. I just feel like they're overlooked in underground and overlooked or whatever, and they're just like one of those groups that, you know, have that joint, and you know that they play that good music, but it's like they're not really heavily acknowledged. And when it comes to the music community to that highest extent, I mean, I want to see them hit 100 million views on their records and downloads too, because the music is really that good, y'all. So, you know, hopefully you guys check out Sid or whatever and download her new song, Missing Out. I downloaded it on Apple Podcast. Apple Music. All these different apps that Apple got. Apple Music, I got it already downloaded. The songs that I have on here I actually downloaded, so I'm helping their pocketbooks with this. So hopefully you see this, Sid, and you come on my show and we can talk it out about your music and the work that you're putting in. And I want to know if this is coming to another album for Sid, or, you know, anything, you know, in particular, because I know The Internet, they come out with a new album and then they do their own solo thing, you know what I mean? So I want to know what she got coming up next and down the pipeline. And I mean, I think it's gonna be dope, you know what I'm saying? If she decide to put together another album, we definitely can do that. Definitely need some of that good music that's that in the R&B realm. It's just something about their music. Y'all got to check it out. Y'all comment what y'all think about Sid's new song, Missing Out. And if you guys haven't heard of The Internet, look up The Internet and y'all tell me what y'all think of their sound. If you are an R&B head and you like hip hop, or you like funk, or you like, you know, just some good ass music, y'all need to go ahead and check out The Internet. And also just download Sid. Check out Sid as a solo artist. She's so talented. Really, really talented. I enjoy her sound. She has an ear for music. That's the thing I like about her the most. She has a real ear for music, okay? Now, what we got here? So, we already talked about Chloe and Halle, Ungodly Hour. Now, let's talk about Donnell Jones' new album, 100% Free. That's the album that just got released. And let me just make sure I don't mistakenly play his song, because I'm trying to go through the playlist. Y'all, listen, I got to turn this volume down off of here, because I don't want to, I'm going to click on it, but I don't want to mistakenly play, because I ain't gonna be getting paid, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so this song is a 6-7 song album. Okay, it starts with a 2.5 minute intro called Fresh, and it's a nice upbeat song to like the intro sounds like an intro to me. It's something that just, I feel like it's to warm people up with the Fresh song. You know what I mean? Something that's not going to make you sleepy or tired or draggy, because it's an R&B album. And then we go into Karma Payback. I like that song and the way that it's produced in general. I like the lyrics in it. And of course, Donnell Jones, it's just his voice. He still has the voice to be able to come out with songs, you know what I mean? And really sing it and deliver it to the people. I like Karma and Payback. The other song that stood out on this album and particularly was Serious. I really like that song as well. His other song, I Do, and I believe, you know, I enjoy that record. He kind of feel like with this album, he mixed up some dance hall, reggae, and a little bit of techno dance music in a couple of songs that he did. I Do, and particularly, I believe that's the song that has like a techno sound. It's something that's a little different from what we're used to with Donell Jones, but I think he was trying to switch it up and you know, give us a little bit something more than just having an R&B feel, and maybe warm up the listeners to what his taste might be, or what he's trying to do and experiment in the studio. I feel like this album is more of him showing different parts of himself besides him just being an R&B guy, but showing that he likes to make music that's for, you know, dance hall and reggae. He also can do dance music as well. Now, the one thing about the album that I was just like, oh wow, was the 7th track is literally meditation music. Like, this is 8 minutes of meditation music, and I mean it was a vibe for sure all the way through, but I was, at first I didn't know that it was just gonna be like meditation music through the whole thing. So I was sitting there like, okay, and I'm listening and I'm just like, all right. And I'm waiting for him to sing. And I started looking, I'm like, how long has it been? I looked at it, was 2.5 minutes and there ain't no singing going on. And I'm like, okay, so is this literally the entire song is like meditation music? So I said F and said, Nam ye horenge cure, Nam ye horenge cure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know, you know what I mean? But overall, I think it's a nice project. Okay. I think I wanted more, because it was only 7 tracks, and I feel like I didn't feel like it was like I didn't feel like this was an album. I feel like it was more so of an EP, maybe. You know, I don't know if he's saying that this is an album, but you know, as a collective of songs, it was very diverse. He did a segment of different songs. Like I said, he had a techno sound, the smooth R&B sound, an uppity song, and then he even had meditation at the end, literally, where it's just meditation music. So I think vocally he still has a really, really strong voice. A lot of times we get our R&B singers from the past, they come in, their voice, you know, they don't really take care of their voice, but you can tell that Donell Jones still has his voice, and he has a lot of hits, and I've always been a fan of his music. So I'm hoping that he comes out with some more music and comes out with a longer album, because that's really what I personally want as a fan and a listener, is a longer album, because as soon as it starts to get good, all of a sudden it goes off. You know, because it's only like 29 minutes long. So, but just in general, I give it a thumbs up. You know, it's a solid piece of work. The only thing that threw me off was the meditation part, because I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is about to be a nice 8-minute song, but it's like just instrumental. So maybe it's just more of a spiritual thing. Maybe it's something that he wants to add, and artists have reasons behind their stuff. And I hope that I get the opportunity to talk to him and ask him about his entire project, and you know, what was his creative mindset when he decided to put together this project and everything else. But I want you guys to listen to it good, and y'all give me your opinion on it, and tell me what y'all think of that new project, Meditation. And then we're going to get into my final pick, and I'm going to discuss my final throwback album, which is going to be Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album. And I'm going to talk about it in my favorite songs off the Wall album. And it's for all of the young people out there, because a lot of the young people, y'all don't know Michael Jackson. Y'all wasn't here when Michael Jackson was alive and reigning and killing it, okay? So it is a reason why I'm pulling and digging in the crates and bringing out other songs for you guys or albums for you guys to research and listen to. Like before I mentioned other old school people, we're going to bring out Michael Jackson Off the Wall, and we're going to talk about it and dissect it on this podcast right now. So let's review Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album, okay? This is a classic that was released in 1979, all right? And this is like the second solo album by Michael Jackson. Most people feel like this is the first solo album, but this is his first solo album as an adult, okay? He had his first solo album, I believe, was 1972 with the single Ben. He had his first single release with the song Ben. But this album was the first album with Michael Jackson by himself that helped people realize and solidify him as the superstar that he was. See, he was later given the name King of Pop about 10 years later, once you get to the Bad era. But this was a start of a sequel of 3 albums that he will produce with the legendary producer Quincy Jones, okay? And the production of Off the Wall started in 1977, around the time when Michael Jackson was recording The Wiz. Okay, and for most of the people, y'all know what The Wiz is. It's a black adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, which was actually a Broadway play, and Michael Jackson allegedly met Quincy Jones during that period, and they hit it off, and then they just start to discuss things, and it led to them working on Michael Jackson's solo album, okay, which would end up being Off the Wall. Okay, in this album, it has a series of spin-off hits that basically catapulted Michael Jackson's career to the next level. Okay, the first song on here, and these are the first two singles off of here, and they got it in a particular order. It's a 10-track album. The first songs, of course, most people know is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, which is like one of his big top like number ones, and Rock With You. And you know, for the new people out there, please go check out those songs, because I know people think like it's Michael Jackson. How could some people not know who he is? But we got a whole 20-something year millennium people who might not know who Michael Jackson is, shockingly enough. And it's because it's literally been, how many years it's been? Over a decade since he died. He died in 2009, and it's 2021. So it's been like 11 years, more than that, since the King of Pop has been not with us anymore. So this is a big gap, and I'm hoping that on my podcast, with me mentioning these certain albums, I hope to bridge the gap, the musical gap of people that's out there who listen to certain artists and think like, oh, this person made this. You got to understand that Michael Jackson has samples galore with a lot of people that you love who have sampled their music, and that includes like Ashanti, Rock With You, baby, that comes from Rock With You, the actual single. Michael Jackson, I wanna rock with you. Sorry if I hurt y'all ears with my singing all night. Okay, that catapulted so many people to have different Rock With You songs. Like, you know what I'm saying? We begin to rock. All right, I don't know that song influenced them, but that came on after Rock With You. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, Michael Jackson, the overall album Off the Wall really is him arriving as an adult and saying, here I am, this is me. You know what I'm saying? And it's so many great songs on here that from beginning to end there's no skips. Okay, the other single, Working Day and Night, a classic jam. It's just an upbeat, up-tempo song. You know, it's just a feel good, and it has that disco feel to it. You know, it still has a disco feel because this is the late 70s, 1979. And the thing about it is, most disco songs, you know, that you play now, you know that it's dated, but if you hear Off the Wall, you could just like, it just feels so classic. And I remember growing up, you know, because I was born in the 90s, 91. My grandmother playing his music, and this song Rock With You always stuck with me. You know, it's something about the tempo, the feel, his voice that made me just be like, wow, like this is magic. This is amazing. You know what I mean? And you know, that's the magic of Michael Jackson just as an artist. You know what I mean? The work that he put in and created. And it was a time, you know, to see him and know that I actually lived while he lived is just truly an honor, because there's a lot of newcomers and new children that's grown up and everything else who did not grow up in the era of Michael Jackson. It's like, y'all got to understand this history of music. There's so many people who feel like they know music, but you do not know music until you study and listen to the discography and the catalog of Michael freaking Jackson. Okay, Michael Jackson did some boss moves, like he bought out the Beatles catalog and basically helped to give the money back to a lot of rock and rollers, including Little Richard and everything else, and giving their money back for them being ripped off back in the 1950s and 60s. And Michael Jackson had done so many different things just as an artist, and you know, he came off with a shy demeanor, but he was a very smart businessman, and even more very talented musician, and literally the greatest entertainer of all time. That's what Berry Gordy said at his funeral, and that's something I agree with. But anyway, the next track on Off the Wall is track 4, Get On The Floor, and that's another, like, that's more of a dated disco song. You know what I mean? It's more of, you know, that it's like the 1970s with that song. Live Life Off the Wall is the title track, and that one is definitely like, you know, it's I can't explain the sounds. Like it has a if the world is on your shoulders, all of his songs was like radio friendly, like radio ready songs. You know how you listen to somebody's album and you be like, okay, that's the radio song, and then the rest of the songs you're like, yeah, whatever, play through. With this album, most of the songs that's on here, I want to say 50% of it has been put out on the radio as singles. You know what I'm saying? Another one that's like a slow jam, She's Out of My Life. That's a classic slow jam. He has a music video for that as well. And also Michael Jackson's like one of the first artists to do music videos. He's the one that literally put out the entire blueprint for music videos. Before Michael Jackson, there wasn't really any music videos per se. There would be live performances recorded, but Michael Jackson actually put together music videos. He was one of the first, and his music video Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get It Up was revolutionary because of the green screen being used, the sequence colors, all of these different things were so new and so vibrant, and that made Michael Jackson stand out against his, all of the other R&B people that was out there. They started seeing him as a pop R&B artist, and it really helped him cross over and really just gain more attention outside of him performing since he was like a child. Of course, since he was 7-10 years old with the Jackson 5, him catapulting as an adult, it's hard for you to cross over as an adult, as a performer, but he did that. The next song we got is I Can't Help It. Oh my God. That's such a classic. And that song is actually sampled in another song. What is it? Dun, 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 dun. It's sampled in several songs. I'm trying to pull out the song. I don't know why it slips my mind right now. What song is that samples? What song samples? Here we go again. It's Portrait. Here we go again. Portrait samples I Can't Help It. And that's Portrait is one of that song from Portrait from the 90s was sampled. Is a sample from Michael Jackson's I Can't Help It. So they sampled Michael Jackson to make that song Portrait, a song that they have during the 90s. And it's like, I'm trying to fix my mic. All right. That single from Portrait actually was sampled by Michael Jackson. I Can't Help It. And that song is Here We Go Again. And you can hear it. Dun, 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 dun. And as a DJ, like, it's certain things that I notice a lot with samples that most general public don't know, but I remember, and I, studied about that history because I always wanted to know more about that. But anyway, the last two songs on here is Falling in Love. That song is the Falling in Love. Y'all gotta check it. That song is like more of a pass by song, but I enjoy that song. And then Burn This Disco Out. This basically gives you the full dated feeling of that studio, what is it, Studio 54 or whatever type of vibe, type of feel and stuff. But overall, this album was an A+, and it actually won Michael Jackson his first Grammys as a performer and as an independent solo artist. And this is something that you guys need to check it out. I bought it. I got Michael Jackson vinyl on my walls and stuff. Y'all listen. I'm always been a listener of Michael Jackson, but those are my picks of the week when it comes to the music side. So y'all check that out. If you guys are newbies to Michael Jackson, never heard his music before, check out his album Off the Wall. I know it's probably bizarre for me to say that, but I know there's someone in the world who hasn't heard Michael Jackson's music in entirety. Y'all need to hear his full album and his work. And this album was produced by Quincy Jones. If you guys don't know who Quincy Jones is, he literally made all of the music from the past 20th century. Okay, all right. Think of Ray Charles, all of that. Okay, this man don't work with Frank Sinatra. Quincy Jones is a freaking genius. And also look up Rod Temperton as well, who is also a producer and a writer for Michael Jackson over the past 3 albums that he had. Like I said, it was a sequel. Michael Jackson's albums of Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad was produced by Quincy Jones, and Rod Temperton was involved as well. But yeah, like Rod Temperton is deceased as well. Quincy Jones, big up to Quincy Jones. He's one of the last legends we got left in the music game. But yeah, y'all need to check that out and listen to that album. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And then if you listen to that, see if you notice any samples from other songs. And that's the stuff that I like to do, is like pick at people's brains. See if you notice a sample. Research Portrait song and then research off Michael Jackson's I Can't Help It, and tell me if y'all hear it. The song is Here We Go Again, Portrait. Research that and y'all tell me, if y'all can catch where the sample is in the song, because it's really the first part of it. But Michael Jackson's music has always been sampled. He made a lot of money from people just sampling his music. You know what I mean? But anyways, Off the Wall, check out that album. That's part of my album review. But outside of that, y'all, I just want to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in for episode 50. You know, this is a milestone. Most people don't even make it to episode number 10, episode 40, let alone me making it to damn episode 50. So I really appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. You guys, I'm going to be putting out some more material. I know it's been a lot of, you know, a little bit of delay and everything else because, you know, I have so much stuff going on. It's been a crazy, tumultuous past few weeks, but, you know, I'm back on my microphone. I'm so excited. And matter of fact, this is the last week of Black History Month. So happy Black History Month. Okay. Happy Black History Month. Shout out to all the ancestors, you know what I'm saying, and all the people that we've recently lost. We've lost actually Mary Wilson from the Supremes. I don't think I mentioned that because I think she passed in the midst of me doing all this other stuff. So I want to give a rest in peace to Mary Wilson of the Supremes. It's only one Supreme left now, Miss Diana Ross. So you know what I mean. So let's just try to honor our legends and everything else. And may she rest in peace, and rest in peace Cicely Tyson. I think I might have mentioned Cicely Tyson in my last episode, but you know, we've lost a lot of people who's made Black history and stuff like that. And speaking of which, I heard that Stevie Wonder went on Oprah, and because Oprah did like a one-on-one interview with him, and he said he's moving to Ghana to get away from racism. And honestly, I really don't blame the man. Okay, he done been around for 70 years, and he basically saying he want his family to see a better life. And I mean, if he want to move to spend the rest of his days there, I'm with you. Go ahead and take yourself on over to the continent of Africa and have some peace, at least away from so much racial injustice and things that goes on here in the States or whatever. But yeah, that was some other stuff I heard also. But anyways, you guys do me a favor. If you guys haven't already, shared this podcast. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you